Hi everyone, good evening. I am happy to be back to share another video about a investor strategy for closing when you are a wholesaler of a property. So one of the ways to get around assignment contracts as a way of recuperating or assigning the contract to an end buyer is to do what's called an LLC buyout. And the LLC buyout, it's a little different, it's conceptually very different from an assignment agreement. The reason for that is because what you are doing is having the end buyer actually not purchase the property per se, but they are purchasing the interest of the LLC. They are actually going to take over the ownership of the LLC, and you are going to no longer, as the wholesaler or owner of the LLC, you will no longer have the ownership anymore. But as a simultaneous part of the transaction is the property gets purchased and becomes an asset of the LLC. So when the seller looks at the closing documents and they see all the paperwork, they're going to see the LLC, and that's all they're going to see. They're not going to see a name change, which is what happens when you have an assignment contract. The buyer's name has to change on all the paperwork. When you have an LLC buyout, the name stays the same because the buyer is actually never changing. What's happening is the ownership is passing hands from the wholesaler to the new buyer. Where this can get a little difficult is when you have lenders who might not be able to kind of recognize the purchase of the interest of the LLC and the asset underlying as enough of a certainty that they can attach their collateral to it. I've seen some hard money lenders not work with LLC buyouts, but I've also seen some actually work with it, and it's worked out just fine. You'll also want to make sure that the title company that's handling the transaction will insure the underlying property and not just the interest being purchased in the LLC, so that you're actually getting an owner's title insurance policy on the property itself. That really shouldn't be a problem, but it is an important thing to make sure that you are in fact getting covered on your title insurance policy. So those things are important. Lastly, LLC buyouts could trigger a bulk sale, and in New Jersey, we all know that that can be not the most fun to deal with. So you'll want to work with an attorney to make sure that all the paperwork for the LLC to be properly transferred, which may include a bulk sale notice, are all handled properly. Also, the paperwork in and of itself, the contract, the agreement to buy the interest in the LLC requires specific documents. There's about 4 or 5 of them that are 100% required in order for everything to be done right. So you want to work, again, with an attorney and a title company who know exactly what is needed for the LLC buyout to work. It is a fantastic solution when an assignment is not going to work, but you need to have this other end buyer buy the property, and they are, if they're 100% in and all the other parties are able to make it work, an LLC buyout is really good. There's definitely times when an LLC buyout is not a good option. Again, talk to your attorney. If you have any transaction that you think you might want to use this strategy on, talk to your attorney so they can tell you if it is appropriate to do an LLC buyout or not. It's not a one-size-fits-all strategy for every single transaction. So that's that, and I can't wait to be back with another video. Talk to you all soon.